Okay, we are live again, and well, happy Sunday morning to all of you wonderful people out there. I guess this was unexpected. I usually don't do live streams on Sundays, but here we are doing a live stream. Sunday morning in Norway, probably, well, certainly not Monday, but late evening in North America and South America. Um, And what would it be in Australia? Too early for me to um, to figure that one out right now. We're going to talk about foreign aid. Mr. Sorpos, good morning. We are going to talk about foreign aid, and it will be one of these myth busting live streams. I love doing some myth busting. Um, and it seems like these myths are getting more and more popular. Some of them are very useful for people in positions of international power, so to speak. So they will keep repeating those lies, and the most effective lies are the ones that people really want to hear, the lies that fits with their feelings. And the more emotional you can make a population, the easier it is to control them, you know. Um, Daniel, Sup, I think that's what the cool kids write when they mean to say, "What's up?" And here's a bit of a dad joke. What do you do when people say, "What's up?" Well, if you're outside, you look up and you say, "Well, the sky." If you're in the forest, maybe some branches. If you're inside, it's the roof. So that's what's up there. Yeah, that joke there will make you very popular with the kids. Okay, I'm sure I will be repeating myself as we progress with this live stream, but um, foreign aid, we give money and food and so on and so on to poor people in poor countries. The concept foreign aid. Um, it's it's been talked about a lot lately because the new administration in the USOA have decided to freeze all foreign aid, I believe. Is that called what they call US aid? Um, and I will not say rightly so, but I will say that when you look into what that money went uh, paid for, it's clearly not just foreign aid, is it? And so they need to tidy up all of that. But the rhetoric and the idea being sold by Trump and his supporters and lots of people, and I see people writing it all the time in the comment section, is that the USA shouldn't support other countries this much, shouldn't give away all this money. And I discovered that a lot of people out there, they actually believe that foreign aid is about being kind. It's about helping unfortunate poor people in other countries. That's not what foreign aid is about. And it's essential that we all understand that. What is foreign aid? What is foreign aid? Is it just giving money to poor people? No, it's not. Sadly, that's not how it works. The world doesn't work that way. And yes, a part of foreign aid is going into difficult situation, when people are starving and so on, and you try to help, you give them food and provide clean water and so on. But foreign aid must be seen as an investment. Okay, and I'll try to explain this. And it was actually, in full disclosure, explained by the Norwegian, I believe, the Norwegian foreign minister. And he talked about the USA, and he said, well, foreign aid is not giving away money. It's part of a bigger picture. It's investment. He didn't use the word investment. I can't quote him directly. I'm not. I can't remember exactly what he said, but that was his message. And he, I disagree with that guy on a lot of matters, but I will thank him for being honest about that, because it's about time that people realize what foreign aid is. Okay, so what is foreign aid? First and foremost, investments. So we can categorize this, or put foreign aid into two categories. Okay, you have direct investments, which is basically you are making a deal with the government in the other country that companies from your country can go in and start business. And people need to realize this is this is not hidden. This is out in the open. Okay? You're getting access to things like natural resources. You're getting access to maybe probably much easier to start up a business, and to start production because of lower wages and so on. So that's the one category. Okay, it's just direct investments, and you're preparing the ground and you're making deals so that companies from your country can go in there and establish themselves. Now, when hopefully the country in question, the country receiving the so-called aid, when they, move on from being a underdeveloped country to being a more developed country, those companies will be established there, and they will be in a very good position. Now, the other category is also investment, but it's not as direct, I would say. And that's when you go in and you help with food, water, and so on. And you buy goodwill. You buy a cultural connection with that country. And you how should I explain this? When you look at a company and you read the numbers, goodwill is actually in the numbers there. And it's a very subjective value, of course, but goodwill is part of what decides the value of the company. So a company with less goodwill will be worth less. Okay, so this is essential to understand. Okay, yes, foreign aid in many cases is helping people who are suffering. But the idea behind foreign aid is, and this might be a little bit controversial when I say it like this, but it's borderline all-time imperialism. I kind of feel it's unfair to say that because but I'm trying to say you don't do foreign aid without expecting something in return. Okay, and this is this is what people don't get. And you will see comments like, oh, the USA, and now it's especially the USA. The USA shouldn't be helping the world, and so on and so on. Well, okay, fair enough. But then also you will lose, well, goodwill. uh, I think that's happening anyway. But you will lose those opportunities, and b you have to understand. We all have to understand that other countries will grab that opportunity. They will go in, they will provide foreign aid, and they will get the goodwill. They will get those companies established there, and they will be making a lot of money from that. So please, you know, it's not as simple as just giving away money, food, and so on, just to be kind. So I just felt like this was important to say, um, and it's important that we understand and we are able to see the bigger picture. I see there will be some cherry picking examples here, examples being cherry picked to because some people will disagree. But it doesn't fucking matter if you disagree, but because this is actually how it works. And they will tell you, they will even tell you that this is how it works. This is what foreign aid is about. And they're not trying to hide it. Now, I will move on a little bit here with war. What I mean is that you will also see the same talking points when it comes to war or being, the world police, and especially now again the Trump thing and all that. Oh, the USA will not be. Uh, they are saying the USA won't be uh, protecting you anymore, and so on. What fucking nonsense! I mean, you have the people who say that they have the audacity to I lack words. That's saying that is much worse actually than saying that, well, we can't provide this much foreign aid. It's we're done being kind to ungrateful people. um, the same people who say that the USA shouldn't be protecting, especially Europe now. People have gotten caught in this trap of hating. Now, Americans are supposed to hate Europeans, and Europeans are supposed to hate Americans. Can't you see what's going on here? It's that trick is as old as humanity itself. Now, war. Well, obviously, you have conflicts that violent conflicts, violent international conflicts, and that in itself is, of course, something that is just needs to be dealt with. Okay, but the idea that when the USA moves into a country, it's to protect that country or to protect that country's enemies. Fucking hell, how can people be that stupid? It's about natural resources. It's about money and power and oil, you know? So I'm sorry that I'm cursing here, but I'm actually shocked when I see people, how easy it was to fool people, how easy it was to trick people into believing this. Do you actually think that America goes into, or other countries goes into an armed conflict without believing that they will gain from it. The world is full of examples of horrible armed conflicts ongoing right now, and Europe doesn't care, the USA doesn't care, because there isn't enough money in it. Well, there would be money, but they make calculations, and when they come out with red numbers at the bottom line there, they will not be they don't go into those countries because they don't think that would be profitable. So please wake up. If you think that the USA or any other countries, Russia, for instance, if you think that they go into an armed conflict without believing that there will be profit, you're being naive. So, I mean, I think the best example right now is the proxy war in Gaza, actually. I think that no, well, Ukraine is also a very good example. But let's try to keep this uh, live stream on the platform, so we won't get into Ukraine. Gaza is a proxy war. It's not about Israel versus the Palestinians. It's not about that. So when the USA gets access to Gaza, we will see. I've heard some rumors that. Well, let's just put it this way: we will see. Now, there are many other aspects going into that, but the principle here is that we all need to wake up, because it's so easy to be caught up with these lies that we are being served every day in mainstream media and alternative media. Fucking hell. I mean, if you look at some of these channels on the left and on the right on YouTube, they are serving you these lies 24/7. And I think actually they are worse than they are actually worse, some of those channels, worse than mainstream media, and that says a lot. Yeah, well, I say money, but T-Rev, also geopolitical advantages. Yes. Well, what is money? Maybe it's more correct to say profit, short-term and long-term profit. So stop. I mean, to anyone listening who are hi, KP Heathen, good to see you. Good to see you. To anyone listening who still believe in the idea that certain countries, they go into armed conflicts for, let's call it, righteous reasons, please stop believing that. It's about profit. I said money, but it's about profit. Maybe not in all of the cases, but in the vast majority of cases, it is about profit. It's about power, control, and it all leads to profit. Now, what is profit? Well, money, of course, financial gain. Wars are also a money laundering machine. Look at Ukraine, look at the Biden family. That's all I will say about that right now. But it's obvious. And these things, it's not difficult to find out about these things. When it comes to foreign aid, I think that's a more honest thing. And it's not as, well, it's not destructive. If you give food to starving people, obviously you're helping those people. But it's not being done without, and as I said, they are actually quite honest about this now. at least the Norwegian foreign minister. It's about investments. It's actually foreign aid is an investment, and people need to understand this. So you know, it's in many cases it's not financially healthy or sensible to pull out of foreign aid programs. Actually, as far as I understand, there might be some exceptions, but you know. Um, Isolationism rarely works for a nation. So you need to get into other countries, do investments there, collaborate with those countries, and so on. And I actually think that that way of dealing with other countries internationally preserves peace. Now, I believe in international trade. I believe in making trade easy for companies, and I think that history shows us that isolationism leads to conflicts. It's very popular to believe that that it's the opposite. Um, yeah. Now, I'm not saying that the opposite of isolationism is not free immigration. So don't get me wrong there. Now, yeah. Okay. Let's get to the chat here. How much money given to African nations have been successful? Not many. Corruption. I mean, that's obvious, right? So yes, and it's a good point. When you have the typical so-called foreign aid going to African dictator states, and the money goes straight into the pocket of the dictator and his family. They buy lots of fancy cars and estates and so on. It's the way I see it, it's still the same mechanism, because that dictator, now don't get me wrong, I don't think that's a good thing. And it should not be done, of course. That kind of foreign aid should immediately stop. But in return, that dictator would then give some advantages to either just people, like that could be politicians, corrupt politicians in the other country, or companies from that country coming into the dictator's country, and so on. It's it's the principle I'm talking about here. And it's not absolute. There are many exceptions, of course, but we should understand that the idea that foreign aid is just about giving away money without expecting, or food and so on, without expecting anything in return, that's naive. That's not how it works. The same with war. They don't. These people who are so-called leaders, they're not going into war without profit. They're not sending young men and women to be killed without believing that there is profit to be made from it. So, but again, what do I know? I tend to say this a lot, because what do I know? I might be wrong. I don't think I am, at least not on this one. um, Yeah, money laundering. Let's talk a little bit about money laundering. Now, I listened to a conference about crime, organized crime, some time ago, and we need to understand that in order for these crime syndicates to take advantage of all the money they're making, they need to get that money into the legal economy. So in a nation or internationally as well, you have the legal economy and you have the illegal economy, and those are separated. So in order for these people to be able to buy themselves fancy cars, and well, actually, let's get to that in a few seconds. It's 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 important to understand that they need to transfer the money that is in the illegal economy. They need to transfer that into the legal economy. And I'm being told that, and I was wondering about this. I was watching, where I keep my boat, in the boatyard there, lots of huge, huge cabin cruisers, right? Now, I'm not saying all of those boat owners are criminals or that any of them are, but in that seminar, they said that typical objects that they use to get the money into the legal money stream is big boats, cars, and properties, property development, and some other businesses. Those are the typical ones. So, and that kind of explains why why there's a market for that many of these big boats. That's what they are saying. So war is another one, and it's on a grand scale. War is a money laundering machine. It's how should I put this? So President Biden, he pardoned his son back to 2014. What happened in 2014? What a strange random number. Just so interesting. Oh, 10 years, round number. No, what happened in 2014? In Ukraine. So it's they are corrupt. It's corruption, you know, and corruption is closely linked to money laundering. Now, you see, I can't say exactly straight out what it is, because if I do, they take down this. The live stream will be gone. I'm sorry about this. That I've tried before, but you get what I'm saying here, okay? It's not my fault, but they have their eyes on me. Sounded a little bit paranoid there, but you have to start wondering why they, well, I know there's a lot talking truth, but there is also the thing that some channels are more have more eyes on them than others, and I'm, other people on YouTube, they can say these things straight out. If I try to do that, I get in trouble instantly. Yeah. So I advise everyone to look at Hunter Biden's position in Ukraine going back to 2014. Now, in a general sense, war is used as money laundering. It's a way to get money from the criminal money stream, the criminal economy, into the legal economy. I'm not saying war is done for that reason, but I am saying that war is used for that. Um, and that in itself, I'll have to be careful here, but that in itself is a reason to keep a war going. Okay. Again, I'm not saying that's the only reason to keep the war going, but it is one of the reasons. The longer you keep a war going, the more money you can get from the criminal money, from the criminal money. I'm doing this because the money is going round and round, okay, into the legal economy. And when it's in the legal economy, you can actually start making that money work for you. Now I'm talking like a criminal now, but it's like that's when you can start putting those millions or billions into work. You can start with money, property development. Well, you can just put the money into an investment fund. You can put it into a you can put it into foreign aid. uh, that's when the magic happens, when you can take that money and invest it in the legal money ecology, so to speak. So it all connects. It all connects. Yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah, it is Kim sold there. I know Google owns YouTube. Yes, the inauguration with the other billionaires and tech owners. Yeah, it is interesting how it works. Yeah. It's highly cynical. It's highly cynical, right? Because I mean, well, I will say it's evil. These are evil people. I mean, they are sending people to die, to be injured for life. So it's we shouldn't accept it at all. We should not. Some people talk about forgiveness. I don't believe that it's a good thing. These are evil people. But okay. I've been very active on YouTube lately. I am doing my best here, spreading the content out. But yeah, difficult time on YouTube. Difficult time. It's very marginalized. It's very not marginalized. It's very tribal. And if you have a nuanced and objective mind, people will hate you a little bit for that. And yeah. But I think, and I saw this in a movie actually, this quote comes from a movie. Integrity is the highest currency. And I think we need to remember that. Integrity is the highest currency. Okay. Have a wonderful evening or morning, whatever it is. Check out all my channels. They are linked to in the video description. You will probably find videos there that you haven't watched yet. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.